You saw the Rangers fans overloading, reloading, all those stuff you see when they were loading the ball into the 18, trying to get a header, trying to get a win, trying to get something on the score sheet. It was a good game. They fought tooth and nail to try and get something from that match. It's such a shame to see that it was abandoned and it went the way it did, but that's football for you.
So if you look at that game generally, that game was one of the best games I've seen this season. Probably because of the tension and because of the stakes that what's available. Because we needed to win in fact, both of them needed to win the game. So I was talking about the organization of NPFL. The part of the thing about makes football great is the organization. If you look at this whole general thing, you come to a stadium that is packed. When I was in that stadium, I came there. When I saw the crowd of people there, and I looked around, I couldn't see any security. I could count how many policemen that were there.
Yeah.
And I was telling myself, if this thing goes south, we are in big trouble here.
You could also sense that we had issues connecting internet and doing some other basic functionalities.
Look at. I also want ambulance somewhere, and I'm wondering if something happens here now, what happens? We are the AZ. So apart from everything is the organization. We need to organize our leagues. We don't organize our leagues better. So the game was good. The game after the 19 minutes, 98 minutes, these things started happening, and I knew it will happen. Do you understand? I just had a feeling that these things might happen in this game, and it happened. But kudos to the.
For me, one of the things that where this whole thing started was when I feel like the stadium isn't big enough for Rangers right now, because you had people on the sidelines, you had people behind the 18, and as the game was progressing, as we were getting into the second half, they kept encroaching into the pitch. Now they're moving beyond the barriers and the barricades, it's
the security. That's why the security wasn't planned well.
I felt like it was because of the level of the game that was played last night.
Yes.
We've been to the stadium a couple of times. You see that this massive.
Kudos to Enugu Rangers. Their stewards were on ground, but man,
it wasn't. It cannot be. But talking about the game, when had that free kick, Rangers had that free kick that hit the crossbar. I've never heard the largest cheer my whole life. I know that somebody in another state will hear that. It was so massive that when I came out, everybody was talking about what was happening, what was the shouts for. So it was a massive game. It was a massive game. If you ask me, that penalty was soft, but he dragged down the striker.
Let's not forget that this is the second offense in that 18. The first one was clearly overlooked. The first one was a clear violation, but they just. Another thing I want to also bring up is the antics of the players generally. You see somebody going on a sharp tackle on somebody, the person goes down, he too goes down, you start the antics, the rolling and all the, we need to see a bit more professionalism from some of these players.
If you are going away, if you are going away to go and play Rangers that have not lost a game for the past 2 or 3 years at the cathedral, you want to get there. Do you understand? You want to play some kind of football, for a different kind of football. Do you understand? They want to absorb the pressure and probably score 1 goal and relax. Do you understand?
There's something that happened during the game yesterday. You talk about the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There was a counter attack, and you felt like it's a clear-cut goal. But the goalkeeper came off his lines, cleared the ball, and still regained himself. Like, if you could also want to go on that attack, he's already there to cover the space. And you ask yourself, is this guy actually a goalkeeper that is meant to be playing in the league, or perhaps we should be exporting this talent to play big games?
You look at the caliber of goalkeepers on both sides, man. Kudos to Enugu Rangers goalkeeper. You see him spreading the ball, receiving the ball on his feet, passing out to his players, marshalling the ball. In the second half, you saw him pulling those balls into dangerous places in the pitch where you could create an opportunity for the players to move that ball without all the passes in it, because what Enyimba were doing, were playing a high line, occupying that midfield, and what his role was in delivering those long balls was kind of short-circuiting that midfield that was already overloaded, sending the ball into those spaces that they have abandoned, so that
at some point the fans behind me where I was standing were chanting Onana, like because it was. That was a top performance from anybody you would get. I don't know how it happened, but the confidence on the ball There was a time he wanted to dribble one of the strikers, and you felt like the confidence alone is the level of the world class. It's a world class confidence level, and you ask yourself, what happened? You know, he was talking about the penalty, and I want to get into that now. Was that a clear-cut penalty? Because I felt like there was miscommunication. There was miscommunication between the goalkeeper, because I'm sure if the goalkeeper had come out earlier, that was his ball. There was miscommunication between the goalkeeper, the defender, and the other guy standing right next to him. And
I think
like
it's a penalty.
Said, come on,
for me, it's a penalty.
It was a soft touch.
If you look at that, this was the second offense in that 18, and this was so glaring and obvious that even the linesman who saw it flagged it. You know, and because if you watch the position of the referee, he wasn't in a position to see what happened, because after marking him, trying to get body on him, he went ahead to drag him and took him down.
I saw that clip.
And,
it was two things.
Yeah,
it was soft. Truthfully, it was a soft penalty. But it was a penalty. There was a contact there. He actually dragged the defense, and the striker was even far away from him. He actually reached out to pull him down.
So you have to give kudos. This is what they tell you: a coach is who sees the game. A coach is the person that plays the game from the sides. Because he made that sub, he took out the captain, made the sub, and the next person that came in got us a penalty and was running at the defenders.
You know, my anger that yesterday wasn't basically the players and what they did. Look at players from Enyimba side that were warming up on the side of the pitch, leave their warm up, rush into the pitch, and go and start exchanging blows with the linesman and the fourth official.
This is the thing that we can't. That's why we can't export our leagues. I can't remember. You see other leagues. These things happen in other leagues. The thing about, I was even surprised that kudos to Enugu people. Enugu people are more calm. There are some states you cannot even try.
They were not. Because
what I'm saying that there are some states.
I think fans started throwing the water first.
No, I don't understand what I'm saying. There are some states you go, you can't even think of it, even say to try to do anything there.
Yeah.
There is a state you cannot even. It won't even occur to you to try it.
Because as you are coming into the stadium, the Enugu people or the people will just be letting you know that now our tough be this so. But look at how the thing went. It seemed Enyimba for the better part of the game, their fans were more hostile. They were the ones inciting. You know, you could see them when we have a chance to bear down on their goal. They are saying, "This mountain shall be like."
I don't have a problem. See, this normal thing that happen in football. They exchange bans. They exchange bans even in football pitch. It happens in England. It happens everywhere. Even you see in English football, they throw in some things in the field. In Spanish, it happens. But what I don't want to see happen is fans invading the field.
Yeah.
When they come to they are now fighting. That somebody gets hurt. That's just the problem. If somebody is singing anything they want to sing, it's their choice to sing whatever they want to sing. But what we saw yesterday shouldn't be happening now. That's why this thing that sponsors will see and they will just pull out.
You know. I think 2 years ago, Kano Pillars were sanctioned with 10 million for this same act, where the fans encroached into the pitch, and we're thinking if for this case now, if it will be less or more, because it will be a very big punishment, because now it's not about just encroaching the pitch, it's now you fighting the officials, which means the security of the officials is not guaranteed.
I think that game should be given to Rangers. It should be given to Rangers.
Saying they will replay, but some people are
saying
they
will not replay that. They will not replay that.
Some people are saying they will replay and they will replay in Abuja, but that's out of the line. But
it doesn't matter. Let me explain something. It does not matter. Every team has a call against them in every game. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
I have seen a game. I think Manchester United versus Brighton, where the game has already ended 90 minutes. The referee goes to the VAR and checks something and comes back and award a penalty for Manchester United.
Yeah, true.
So things go against your team. It's a natural thing for football. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. You just chest it and just continue football. But now, whether the referee got it right or wrong, it's not your decision to make. What they did there is against the rules. So that game, they threw it away. If it's me, it's supposed to be 3 goals awarded to Rangers and 3 points awarded to Rangers. That's how that's how it's supposed to be. Whether the referee got it right, it's not your own. It's not you to decide on the pitch.
I think you'll have to get into an appeal for that.
Yeah, you can get into an appeal, but the rule says that if you do that, you lose the game.
That's how it should be.
That's how it used to be.
If you go by the books.
If you go by the books. So whether the referee got it right or wrong, it's not you to decide. We have seen all sorts of calls in football. Sometimes you see that one, you know that this one clear. they cheated, but you don't see anybody fighting. You continue the game. It's football. Do you understand? It's football. Sometimes you get it for your team. Sometimes you get it against your own team. Do you understand? So what Enyimba did was, I know the problem again. The problem is now when they gave the penalty. If that occurred probably around
it was the first incident. If it was the first incident that happened around the 60th,
yes, they might not
at least not
left it. But now this is actually the final kick of the game.
You know, this now goes against the grain, which is that let me say you go away from home, you have to get a draw. It's just that entitlement mentality for me, because the Enyimba fans were thinking last we'll walk away with a draw here and everybody is happy and win our remaining matches and close the gap on Rangers, until that penalty scare came in. That's when, and even when the whole fighting had died down, when the referee had already gotten the ball, going to set it on the spot kick, going back, we couldn't see any Enyimba player on the pitch. No Enyimba player on the pitch. Then they started throwing in the missile. The next thing, you see the whole battalion encroaching the pitch. You know, it's almost as if it was an orchestrated thing, because there was even the goalkeeper that should have been on site to defend that penalty wasn't on site. So it goes back again to that entitlement mentality that when you're on the road you must get a point.
It's because for me the punishment should be increased, because this thing will keep happening. For example, if another club, for example, if I'm NPFL organization, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ban deduct points from Enyimba.
But the funny thing now, the funny thing now is that Rangers is even more at stake, because this thing happened in their home as against Enyimba fans, because the predominant thing now is going to be that there was encroachment by fans, but it was at Rangers home. So it's good that we have a lot of all these footages that were captured of the event that went down, so that when the NPFL are going back to go and review and come up with what they want to take action, they will know where the whole thing.
Well, this, like you said, point deduction and all of that. This happened during some years ago, where a club in Europe were given a sanction not to play the games. They were said to play their games behind closed doors, and you can't travel with fans. Your home games will be played behind closed doors, which means the away fans are not coming to watch your games. Your home fans are not coming to watch your games as well. So it's going to be crazy.
I think one of the issues that when I entered that stadium, I saw the amount of people. What first thing that occurred to me is that we should have called more policemen to this field, because it's not about human beings. That if you say about, probably I've seen some derbies in Brazil, if you see the amount of policemen in that present on that field, you know that even you fans will not even think about doing anything.
If you look,
do you understand? If for that game you entered probably commissioner and you saw the amount of people there, the first thing you should do is call the commissioner of police. Can you give us more men?
Yeah. If
you round that place about 200 policemen standing, nobody will do nonsense.
You know, this used to happen, I think, in England as well. Man United versus this United some time ago. They have the highest, they say this is a game that has the highest number of security personnel present during the game.
So you have to read the room. That's the point.
This Oriental Derby has to be one of those games that has the highest number of security.
I don't think any stadium in Nigeria put this kind of crowd before.
Maybe Lagos, maybe
Lagos, but that crowd was
maybe Pillars too.
That crowd was massive.
Yeah, this
cheers was massive.
Let's call it that. This is Vote FM Sports here on Vote 104.3 FM. We are also live on Facebook at Vote 104.3 FM, and we're on YouTube live now on Vote FM Sports. Okay, and we have other results in the NPFL last weekend. I want to talk about just 3 games. We had Rivers United win a game last night, one goal win, and I don't know if Heartland of Owerri are trying to rescue themselves from relegation.
Yeah, because
winning 3-1 in that game. I don't know.
It was a dominant win. You know, they won 3-1. It was a good win, especially. But then you also need to look at the opponents. They were playing Doma United, you know, who are some of the minnows in the NPFL right now. So, but it's good thing for the Heartland side, the Heartland fans trying to finish high up in the league table, you know. But then they weren't playing any strong opposition. But credit to them for getting. They
are going to go down. They are just at 5 points. They are still on 35 points. They are not going to. They are not going to survive. Just 4 more games.
They wanted to win that game to see if they could send Doma down and perhaps get their spot.
Yeah.
Maybe get to the 18th or 17th position and perhaps survive relegation from there. And we still have some other games like the Rivers United game.
Also, let's not forget the Remo game. They lost 2-3 to Lodi Stars. So at least right now Rangers have some breathing space from Remo Stars because they've played one more game. This game was abandoned pending the review and the final decision of the match against Enyimba. That could now move Enugu Rangers as much as 5 points clear of both top
sides.
That will give a lot of breathing room. Now these guys have played one more game more than Rangers. When that pans out, going into the next game now in the NPFL, it's going to give them a lot of breathing space because it stretches that lead above Remo Stars.
I think this league is now between Rangers, depending on the ruling Rangers versus Enyimba, because they are the first two.
Yeah.
If they give replay or a draw, then if they give the 3 points to Rangers, then probably they will win the league because just 4 games left. So kudos to Rangers, though they played good football. I really enjoyed yesterday's game.
Well, let's look at that because now we have an NNL game, playoffs to be played today, and perhaps some were played last weekend. NNL, the second division of Nigerian Professional Football League. Some of their games are playing, and some of these people are camped in Enugu right now. We have the Economy Warriors, the Nasarawa United, the Sporting Supreme, and Sokoto United, and we also have Ikorodu City Football Club and Inter Lagos. These teams played last week, a 1-1 draw. Sporting Supreme won 1 goal. Nasarawa United won their last match by 1-0, and they are still continuing that game this week. I don't know what you think about this, John.
For me, I would love to see the El Kaname Warriors back in the NPFL. I'm pulling for them. Basically, if you go off their history in the league, they are one of those old teams that have been present in the league a couple of years. Now they are in the lower division. For me personally, I'm pulling for them. Let's see if they can break through and come back into the big time in the NPFL.
Anybody that wants to, I always talk about football is about merit. Anybody that plays well should just enter and play the first division team.